Even in the quietest moments, a whisper of self-doubt can creep in, casting shadows on our brightest aspirations. And in the relentless pace of modern life, stress often feels like a constant companion, tightening its grip around our peace of mind. But what if there was an ancient path laid out long ago that could offer solace and strength against these very modern challenges? What if the wisdom of the Buddha, often seen as distant and mystical, held profoundly practical keys to unlocking inner calm and unshakable confidence? We often chase after external validations, believing that if we achieve enough, earn enough, or are praised enough, then finally we will feel worthy. Yet, true worthiness, like true peace, is an inside job. It doesn't come from acquiring. It comes from letting go. It doesn't come from striving. It comes from being. Consider a simple truth. The mind is like a garden. If we plant seeds of fear and comparison, what kind of harvest can we expect? But if we cultivate seeds of compassion, acceptance, and wisdom, then the blossoms of peace and self-assurance will naturally unfurl. The Buddhist path isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you truly are, beneath the layers of societal expectations and self-imposed limitations. It's about recognizing the inherent perfection that already resides within you, waiting to be rediscovered. In the quiet hush of dawn, long before the hurried rush of the world begins, there's a timeless truth that whispers to us, if only we pause long enough to hear it. It's a truth about the human heart, about the burdens we carry, and the liberation that waits for us. Today we embark on a journey together, a journey not across distant lands, but deep within ourselves, guided by ancient wisdom that still holds profound relevance for our modern lives. Our compass will be the gentle teachings of the Buddha, offering not rigid doctrines, but practical paths to ease the weight of self-doubt and the relentless grip of stress. Think of a moment when self-doubt has clouded your vision, whispering insidious untruths about your worth. Or perhaps you felt stress tighten its knots around your shoulders, making it hard to breathe, hard to think clearly. These feelings are not unique to you. They are threads woven into the fabric of human experience. The ancients understood this deeply, recognizing that much of our suffering stems not from external circumstances, but from our internal responses to them. As the Buddha once said, the mind is everything. What you think you become. This isn't just a poetic phrase. It's a profound insight into how our inner world shapes our outer reality. So how do we begin to untangle these knots? How do we silence the internal critic and calm the storm of anxiety? It begins with a simple yet powerful practice. Mindful awareness. It's about learning to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, without getting swept away by them. Imagine sitting by a river, watching leaves float by. You don't jump in after every leaf. You simply watch them pass. In the same way, mindful awareness teaches us to watch our thoughts and emotions. They are transient like the leaves on the river. They come and they go. They are not us, nor do they define us. This gentle observation, this quiet acknowledgement, is the first step in reclaiming our inner peace. It's the beginning of seeing that while thoughts may arise, we don't have to be their prisoner. Continuing our journey inward, let's delve deeper into this practice of mindful awareness, especially when facing the nagging voice of self-doubt. That voice often sounds authoritative, doesn't it? It tells us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. It can feel like a relentless drumbeat, echoing our perceived failures and magnifying our imperfections. But here's where mindful awareness becomes our greatest ally. It allows us to create a space between us and that voice. Imagine, if you will, a bustling marketplace. Sounds and sights abound, some pleasant, some jarring. If you try to cling to every sound or dismiss every sight, you'd be overwhelmed. Instead, you simply let them be, recognizing them as part of the market's vibrant tapestry. Our minds are much like that marketplace. Thoughts, doubts, fears, aspirations, they all jostle for attention. When self-doubt arises, our usual tendency is to either believe it implicitly or fight against it fiercely. Both approaches can leave us exhausted and trapped. Mindful awareness offers a different path, neither belief nor battle, but simple observation. When that voice of doubt begins its chorus, instead of saying, "Oh no, I am definitely not capable," you might gently acknowledge, "Ah, there is the thought of not being capable." You don't embrace it, nor do you push it away with force. You simply note its presence, much like noticing a cloud passing in the sky. This subtle shift from being identified with the thought to observing the thought is profoundly liberating. It's a whisper of wisdom telling us, this too shall pass. This practice takes patience, like tending a garden. You wouldn't expect a seed to sprout overnight, nor should you expect self-doubt to vanish instantly. But with gentle, consistent attention, you'll notice its grip loosening. You'll begin to see that these thoughts are merely mental events, not immutable truths about who you are. This understanding is the cornerstone of cultivating a deeper, more compassionate relationship with yourself. Now, let us turn our gaze to the relentless companion of self-doubt, stress. In our modern world, stress often feels like an unwelcome guest that has taken up permanent residence, always lurking in the background. We rush, we worry, we chase after goals, and often the very act of chasing creates more tension, more unease. The Buddha taught that much suffering arises from craving and attachment, craving for things to be different than they are, attachment to outcomes that are beyond. This is the very essence of stress, isn't it? The mind clinging to what it desires or resisting what it fears, creating friction and turmoil. One powerful Buddhist practice to alleviate stress is acceptance. This isn't about resignation or giving up. It's about acknowledging the present moment as it is without immediate judgment or resistance. Think of a sailor caught in a storm. Fighting every wave with brute force would be futile and exhausting. A wise sailor learns to work with the wind and the waves, adjusting their sails, finding a way to navigate through the tempest. They accept the reality of the storm, even as they actively seek to steer their ship to safety. Similarly, when stress arises, our initial reaction is often to push it away, to pretend it's not there, or to blame ourselves for feeling it. But just as what you resist persists, resisting stress often amplifies it. Instead, acceptance invites us to acknowledge its presence. I am feeling stressed right now. It's a simple, honest recognition. This doesn't mean you like the feeling, or that you won't work to change the circumstances causing it. It simply means you allow the feeling to be, rather than expending precious energy fighting it. This practice of acceptance offers a subtle yet profound shift. It allows you to step back from the emotional whirlpool and gain a clearer perspective. When you stop fighting the wave, you can begin to ride it. And often, simply acknowledging the stress, giving it space without judgment, can begin to diminish its intensity, like light slowly diffusing a shadow. This mindful acceptance is a gentle yet firm embrace of what is, opening the door for what can be. As we continue our exploration of Buddhist wisdom, another powerful antidote to both self-doubt and stress emerges: self-compassion. We often extend kindness and understanding to our friends when they struggle, offering a gentle word or a listening ear. Yet when it comes to ourselves, we can be our harshest critics, relentlessly pointing out flaws and shortcomings. This self-criticism, far from motivating us, often deepens the well of self-doubt and amplifies our stress. The path of self-compassion, deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, invites us to treat ourselves with the same warmth, care, and understanding we would offer a cherished friend. It's about recognizing that suffering, imperfection, and struggle are universal human experiences. You are not alone in your self-doubt, nor are you unique in feeling overwhelmed by stress. These are shared parts of the human condition. One beautiful way to practice self-compassion is through a simple, silent gesture or a quiet affirmation. When you notice self-doubt creeping in or stress beginning to tighten its grip, gently place a hand over your heart. Feel the warmth of your palm, the steady rhythm of your breath. Then, silently offer yourself a kind phrase, something like, "May I be kind to myself in this moment," or "This is a moment of suffering, and I am not alone." This small act, this tender recognition, can create a powerful shift within. It's a way of saying, "It's okay to feel this way. I am here for myself." This isn't about indulging in self-pity or avoiding responsibility. It's about creating a foundation of inner strength and resilience. When you treat yourself with compassion, you build an inner sanctuary, a place where you can find solace and understanding even amidst life's storms. It's like tending to a delicate plant. You nurture it, you protect it, you give it the conditions it needs to flourish. In turn, it grows stronger, more vibrant, and more capable of weathering the inevitable challenges that life presents. Our journey through Buddhist wisdom now brings us to a practice that directly counters the restless churn of the mind: meditation and mindful breathing. Often, when self-doubt or stress takes hold, our thoughts race, our breathing becomes shallow, and we feel disconnected from the present moment. We get lost in what-ifs and should-haves, allowing our minds to drag us through scenarios that may never come to pass. Meditation, in its essence, is not about emptying the mind, but about training it to be more present, more focused. It's about bringing your attention back to the anchor of your breath, moment by moment. Imagine trying to steady a boat in choppy waters. You wouldn't throw out the anchor and then ignore it. You'd feel its resistance, its connection to the seabed, and allow it to hold you firm. Your breath can be that anchor. A simple practice you can adopt, even for a few minutes each day, is conscious breathing. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring your attention to your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Feel the cool air as you inhale, the warmth as you exhale. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. When your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, gently bring it back to your breath without judgment. It's not about perfection, but about the practice of returning. Each time you bring your attention back, you strengthen your capacity for presence. This mindful breathing is a powerful tool for stress relief because it engages your parasympathetic nervous system, helping to calm your body and mind. It's like gently applying the brakes when your internal engine is running too fast. And when it comes to self-doubt, this practice helps to create a space between you and your thoughts. You begin to see thoughts as mere suggestions, not commands. You learn that you are not your thoughts, and that you have the power to choose where you place your attention. Like a flowing river, the breath is always there, always in motion, guiding us back to the present moment. Having explored mindful awareness, acceptance, self-compassion, and mindful breathing, let us now consider how these practices culminate in a deeper understanding of impermanence. This profound Buddhist teaching reminds us that everything in life is in a constant state of flux. Nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not sorrow, not success, not failure, and certainly not self-doubt or stress. When we cling to things as if they are permanent, whether it's a particular outcome we desire or a negative feeling we can't shake, we create suffering. Self-doubt often arises from a fear that our current perceived inadequacy is a fixed state, an unchangeable truth about us. Stress, too, often stems from resisting change or clinging to expectations that simply cannot hold. But life, like the seasons, is always moving, always transforming. Consider a majestic tree. It stands tall and strong, but its leaves change with the seasons. Its branches sway in the wind, and over time, even the trunk grows and shifts. Yet, it remains a tree. In the same way, we are constantly evolving. The self-doubt you feel today is not the same as the self-doubt you might have felt years ago, nor will it be the same in the future. The stress of this moment will eventually give way to another. This understanding can be incredibly liberating. It's a whisper of hope, reminding us that even the darkest clouds eventually dissipate, revealing the clear sky behind them. To embrace impermanence is to cultivate a sense of letting go. It's about holding on to experiences, thoughts, and emotions lightly, knowing they are transient visitors. When self-doubt whispers, you can acknowledge it as a passing thought, a temporary cloud, rather than a permanent storm. When stress tightens its grip, you can remind yourself that this too shall pass. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but rather approaching them with a greater sense of fluidity and resilience, knowing that the only constant in life is change itself. It allows us to dance with life, rather than fighting against its natural rhythm. As our journey together draws to a close, let us gather these threads of wisdom into a tapestry that offers not just relief from stress and self-doubt, but a path toward a more meaningful and purposeful life. The final practice, which weaves through all the others, is the cultivation of joy and gratitude. It may seem counterintuitive to focus on joy when navigating doubt and stress, but it is precisely in these moments that turning our attention to what is good, what is present, and what is abundant can bring the most profound transformation. Joy in this context isn't about superficial happiness that depends on external circumstances. It's a deeper, more resilient sense of contentment that arises from within, regardless of what's happening around us. Gratitude is its constant companion, a simple yet powerful practice of acknowledging the blessings, big or small, that are already present in our lives. Think of a tiny seedling pushing through the earth. Its journey is arduous, facing obstacles and uncertainties, yet within it lies an inherent drive towards growth and blossoming. Similarly, within each of us there is a boundless capacity for joy and gratitude, waiting to be nurtured. When self-doubt attempts to diminish your light, consciously recall moments when you felt capable, when you were supported, or when you simply experienced a flicker of peace. When stress threatens to overwhelm, bring to mind the simple gifts of your day, the warmth of a cup of tea, the sound of rain, a kind word from a stranger. This isn't about denying difficulties, but about expanding your perspective. It's about remembering that even in the midst of challenges, there are always reasons for gratitude, always sources of quiet joy. It's like finding a small, beautiful wildflower blooming in a rocky landscape. It doesn't erase the rocks, but it adds beauty and hope to the view. By intentionally cultivating joy and gratitude, you begin to rewire your mind, shifting its focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, from what is feared to what is cherished. This sustained practice creates a fertile ground for inner peace, allowing your true self, unburdened by doubt and stress, to finally flourish. Remember, this path is not a destination but a continuous journey. Take these practices not as rigid rules, but as gentle invitations. Experiment with them, adapt them to your own life, and discover the profound wisdom that lies within you. May you find peace, clarity, and boundless strength on your journey.